All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Group Chart Analysis. It is Thursday. It's Thursday, August 30th, 2018. Shit. It's already the end of August. What's going on? This is not cool. Not cool, guys. Time's flying. It's already fucking September. It's horseshit. But so a lot of things happened last night. I want to say like a lot of things. I mean, I wasn't expecting a lot. There wasn't a lot of the movement that we're used to that happened, but there was still some opportunities to get into some positions. GU, I knew really wasn't going to make a move like that. If anything, it was going to make that push down, but it wasn't my favorite. AU it shot right back down again, but it just continued it on its path. It wasn't really anything crazy. That one was pretty easy, actually. I think if you guys remember from the other day, I said if you were to take the sell, take it down to that sell to the bottom. Didn't quite hit it yet, but we did have it continuing, so that would have been good. The only pair that did what I wanted it to do, not as pretty as I wanted it to be, but it did do it, was EU. We had that head and shoulders from the other night. We had trades being put in here. I know people that took trades right over here. The double hit off the water, dropped down. That was good, and then it started pulling back during the New York session. It's remained in the area of this supply and demand zone, and then it continued to tank to finish off the head and shoulders. But ultimately, I still think this thing has a little bit of room. I think it's just going to sit here and consolidate. If anything, what you're going to see tonight on Euro USD, because I don't see any divergence and because it is an overall uptrend now on the smaller time frames, ultimately what I'm seeing is a shot down towards that water, towards that Mayo, and then a possible shot back up. It's just a gradual push back down until it decides to hit that point to continue on the uptrend. So let's look at the daily. Now, what's going to be a little confusing here, so that's why I think it might happen short term. Now, because today is going to be a Friday and it's a trap day, there is going to be a slight manipulation. And I don't know if there's any news. Let me just make sure right now. Hold on. Give me 5 seconds. It's right on my analysis. So tomorrow's the 31st. There is USD news, but it's at 6:45 and 7. It's like orange and yellow folders, but I don't know. There's been nothing but orange and yellow folders this entire week, and the chart's been moving like crazy. So I would just hold off. What I'm seeing on the daily here, though, is seeing that shark fin. It did create that new high, but what I'm seeing, noise. What's the dog? He's like, he wants to come in. I'm thinking what it's going to do, because it broke that water. Now, when it gets to this zone, even though the EMAs are really tight, there are exceptions to this. So what I'll do and what I'm looking at right now, even though it's hitting that blueberry where it does define that there is no trend, because of the higher time frames and how it broke that water and where it's out in the TDI, I think what this thing's going to do is going to push down towards that EMA 50 for it to then consolidate and then eventually push back up towards that. So that's what I think could happen. So that's why I was telling you guys in the hour time frame to start looking for that shot down towards that 1 hour Mayo. It would be a nice setup. It would continue with the overall trend. There is nothing telling me it's going back up yet. There's not even a W form. There's no single pattern. So do expect this thing to be dropping again so that you can capture that eventual reversal that happens for next week. But I think this thing's going to literally drop down and then consolidate out for the rest of the week, and then Monday, Tuesday, next week, we'll see it rise up. Let me see if the 15 minutes a little better. So yeah, just wait for it to do another false move. They're going to trap some traders up here a little bit more, and then they're going to take it back down. So be ready for that. Gold tanked. It dropped again. I knew we wanted it to come down towards this actual. If you guys remember, I drew this line yesterday. I told you guys if you were going to take this for a sell, to have it drop back down towards this low. It did actually come down to the initial beginning, and then it pulled back during the New York session, reversed with the news, and then it tanked right towards the blueberry. So that was the overall push that we had it for. So if you took that trade, good stuff. But what we're going to be seeing here is a continuation shot up. So look at the TDI on this one, and this is why I want you guys to be looking for buys. Notice how it's outside of the volatility bands. And remember, if you guys remember me training on this, if you guys see how this is, see how the volatility bands are really tight? Here's a quick lesson. The volatility bands are really tight as they are right here, and they're in the oversold region, which is these two lines. You see it right here. This is pre-oversold and oversold. When they're in that pre-oversold region and the market baseline, which is the yellow line, are all in the oversold zone or in the overbought zone, and then what happens is they break out, like you see right here. See how the RSI broke out of the volatility band and then kind of retracing back a little bit? This is a breakout. This is the imminent reversal / breakout trade, and what's going to happen is the first place it's going to go to on the TDI is that stationary 50, which is why I've been telling you guys to look for it to drop back down the last day, and then we'll see a continuation push up. All right, so let me look at it on the lower spectrum so I can find like a precise entry on this. To the 4 hour, and I told you gold likes to throw perfect patterns, likes to throw very technical patterns. Right now you're seeing it bounce on an actual supply and demand zone and a resistance zone. So from here to here is literally all supply and demand, and what I'm waiting for is to see a nice little W pop up for this thing to continue the shot up. So that's why I was saying look for the continuation, wait for it to drop one more level, and then we'll start looking for reversals back down towards like the big, I want to say like today, but Monday, Sunday, Monday for sure. Look for this thing to keep dropping because of how just common sense right here. Like you have the reversal up here, the divergence shot down. Here's the new low, breaks it broke that low. They come back, form a lower high, form a lower low. They got to form another lower high for it to then drop to either retest the low here or to break it and continue the downtrend pattern until it gets to a point where it then reverses, throws divergence, and then continues up. So the fact that it hasn't done that yet is just all the more the merrier, the reason why to keep looking for this thing to be a sell. It's stop hunting now, hence the big candle. They're trapping traders up to the top. They're going to consolidate, throw a nice railroad, M formation, quarter wood, whatever, and then they're going to tank. So look for this thing to be a sell tonight. GBP USD, I'm going to just tell you guys to hold off on it because what's going to happen is this pair is going to literally consolidate like this until the water meets the pair, right? That's what GBP does. It'll wait until it comes up about there, and then it'll bounce off of it, and you'll see it just it'll most likely take that skyrocket up. So this pair is somewhat dead today, dead for the week. Don't touch this pair until next week. If it does end up shooting up tonight, I'm just letting you know that that's not always guaranteed. The first thing you're going to do is wait for it to hit that 1 hour water. You are not touching it until it does that. So wait for it to touch the 1 hour water, then you can look for setups. If it doesn't touch it, you're not touching it. That's it. AUD, USD. This pair, it's kind of doing what we were looking at before. It's getting ready to do some buy low, sell high situations. You got the pair here. You have price here. It's going to be, let me delete this. In this. Buy low, sell high overall, unlike the hour spectrum, lower time frame. It's beneath the stationary 50 and on the daily, hence the downtrend motions. It did come down to that low. I think tonight it could just shoot up to finish out the week in the middle, like this. I think it's going to finish out the week like right in the middle of the trend, and they'll be able to play something for next week. So right now it's throwing a nice reversal pattern, so to railroad on the hour, which is a W on the 15-minute. If it loads. Oh, did I click the 5? Darn. Give it a sec. All right, here we go. Yep, so what we're seeing here is some divergence on AU. From one here, right? So you have the divergence there. And then you have divergence from here down, where it starts from there, goes on an upward slant. So it's just letting you know that it's going to keep consolidating. For short term, on this pair, what you're going to do is wait for it to hit that 15-minute water. As soon as it hits it, you can come back down again for the retest. If it doesn't take it out and it starts throwing some patterns at wicks at this low, then you can look for buying potential. But overall, you know how I am and how I tell you guys to do it. Don't trade it for a buy until it breaks that water, comes back, retrace it, and then you can get it for a buy. On the hour, it would be the Mayo here. So you're not touching it until it hits that Mayo. But just be careful on this pair. It could just consolidate out because of how everything's been moving this week. I just don't see a lot of volatility in the market tonight. So if you do trade today on Friday, just be in and out. Just don't hold anything. You Chief, man, this thing has been dropping the entire fucking week since we started this pair. We looked at it. I was like, once it breaks that low, look, it dropped 3 levels already. This is the low I had it breaking Sunday, Monday. So today's Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, right here. So Sunday, Monday broke that low, and it's been continuing down, which is why I'm like holding EU and gold for that buy. I just think they're doing some pullbacks before they decide to shoot back up again. But Euro U-Chief has been just tanking, and it's still going to keep tanking. The fact that it's tanking this hard is unreal. But it's happened. It did it here. Right here, it did it for a whole month. It just shot up. So this one for like the rest of this month is shooting down. It's breaking the blueberry. I think this thing is just in a big reset on the weekly. You guys can see it. This is why I was telling you from up here, this thing's going to be tanking. The first area I wanted to go was that water, then it was the Mayo. If this closes out this week at this low, guys, it's coming down to here. That's the first place it's going. It's going to tank all the way back down. Not even just that first line, but down to here. It's going to go all the way down because look, it's in one big reset. So let me just be clear. You, Chief, you are selling. Look at this. Another even confirmation. This is the monthly. The monthly. Look at the RSI. It's out of the volatility band over the stationary 50. It's going to come back down. This thing is by default, by the higher time frame, it's going to come back down. So you, Chief, for the next month, you're looking for sells. That's it. Stop punt high, sells. Riding the EMAs, sells. You're just looking for those. UCAD had the reversal last night for the Thursday. Shot the hell up during news. Let's take a look at this on the higher time frame. Bounced right off of the water. Perfect. Look at that. I told you, it's going right to the water, hit it, and then retraced. Daily, it's not divergent, but it threw that engulfing pattern. I think it could go back up towards that water for a pullback because this is a lower low. We would need a lower high. Where do we dictate that? We can go from here to here. We can literally take it from here and draw it down to here. And then 4 hour. Yeah, 1, 2. We would see this thing shoot up. It's not outside of the volatility band yet. This thing could literally break the water, which I think it will. I think this thing's gonna decide to continue to shoot up like that. So wait for it to come up. I believe it's gonna test this trend line, and then next week we'll look for this thing to be a sell. So look for a continuation shot up tonight on UCAD, and then we will grab this. Yeah, this thing is definitely continuing up. You're gonna you're buying UCAD. That's it. That's what you're looking for. Buying UCAD. UJ hit that high, came close to it actually, and then it tanked last night. So this is why I haven't been touching UJ at all. But let's see the weekly. Still by the station at 50. This thing could still shoot up. It could have just false moved down. Oh, it threw that railroad on the daily. Ooh, this thing can actually keep going right back down again. If this does it, guys, on the daily, it's coming back down to that blueberry. So I think it's going to come back down to that blueberry for another hit, just off of this alone. Look at the TDI coming right beneath the stationary 50. If it closes like that, it's going all the way back down. So this might be a pair to play next week. Even the RSI. I mean, even the 4 hour looks good. Here, see how it's breaking that Mayo? It's coming out of the volatility band, possible retracement, and then a drop, continuation drop. 1 hour. Yeah, this is totally dropping. You guys are looking for sells on this. Seriously, it's gonna keep dropping. 15 minute. Yep. Stop on high, bounce off the water in the blueberry, continuation drop. That's it. Looking for those sells. Yes, sir. GJ weekly. I've been touching, and this thing wicked hard off the weekly here. Right off the catch up, which is where we had it going for a reversal. if you guys remember. Damn, that thing shot up last night. Inside the volatility band, bouncing off the water. Not the best pattern ever, but it could continue. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is going to continue. Shot up, so shoots up here. It's going up to that blueberry. That's the 4 hour. 1 hour. So before it does shoot up, because I think it ultimately will, it's looking like this is actually going to be redropping again. So that it does. This would actually correlate with UJ. So redrop to that blueberry, then into next week we would see that shot right back up. So continuation down, short term, and then long term going into next week we'll be looking for buys. So look for sells tonight, guys. Look for sells. EA. EA is, it's in that supply and demand zone here in the weekly. It's hitting that high. If it closes up as high as it is, especially on the weekly, that's a lot of momentum on those candlesticks. It would have to be a really hard reversal next week in order to even reconsider this thing to be a sell. Right now it's in the overbought zone on the daily. It's starting to throw some wicks, but it's still not done yet. It's throwing railroads right now. It's divergent here. If you guys are seeing this, price going up. Price is overbought like a motherfucker, and it's coming down. Well, you guys get it. It's going down like that. So if this does reverse, it will tank tonight, and then next week you'll look for sells. I would not sell this yet because it is still too early. Because this could easily just go like this. It could easily go down, hit the water, and then continue up. Hit the water, continue up. You don't know. I would wait for this thing to break that water, pull back, and then we'll get it on that pull back to the upside, and then sell it. Because if this thing decides to drop, it's going to drop for a minute. All right, so that's what we're going to do. Just wait on this. It might go down to the water. If it doesn't break it, continue to the uptrend back to this recent high. Simple as that. GA, probably going to be the same thing as EA. It shot the hell up. It's overbought on the 4 hour. It's not on the daily, though. Weekly is this thing's going to be going up again. Yeah, this is totally going up. Short term, you're looking for pullback. So 1 hour, look for the water. It's divergent here. Yeah, the most you're looking for, guys, is a pullback down towards the water as it comes up. I wouldn't really touch this fair either. That thing blew out the other night. Not today, but last night. You're going to wait on this one too. The only way you're selling this short term is if it breaks that water short term, pulls back to it, and then drops. It's the only way you're going to really take it. Now, it's obviously not going to look like that, but you're going to wait for it to break the water clean, be below the stationary 50, outside the volatility band, for it to then retest it and continue down. So that's what you're going to do. But ultimately, I think this drop that's going to come is just going to be a pullback. And then, yeah. And then G-Chief, we had this I actually do remember we had this thing for a definite sell. It hit that high, and then it dropped all last night. So if you took that pair, you would have won something, would have made some money, but still not my favorite pair to play. I still think it's going to keep dropping because it is below the stationary 50 still, and everything looks clean on it. So, and it's not divergent whatsoever. I think this thing is getting ready to take another tank down towards the recent low. So if you were to take it like here, from where it's at to where it needs to go is 44 pips. All right, so we got 44 pips before it touches that low, like this low, not this low down here, but until it decides to do anything. But I still have this thing continuing down. If anything, you guys can sell it right now, actually. You can either sell it right now and have it go down where you take profits like these lows, or you can wait for it to pull up to that water and then sell it. It's up to you. But this thing looks like it's actually about to break out. I don't really think it's going to pull up. So, especially since it's Friday, it's a trap day, they want you to think straight like this. So I think they're just going to straight away drop it. But that's what we're looking at for a Friday. Not bad. A couple setups, but a few things that we're going to be seeing. I think next week's going to be a lot better. So, yeah, so with that being said, that is tonight's analysis. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy, like I said, but okay, next week's going to be good. Does anybody have any questions real quick? If not, I'm going to end this, put it up on YouTube, and we'll come back on Sunday to capture these tips next week. What?
Your analysis on AU, it had through a railroad towards the bottom of 1 hour. I wanted you to re-go over that again.
Yeah, the 1 hour, man. Yeah, so this thing might just consolidate. It is in a supply and demand zone where I have these lines here. So the most that it'll do, because it's in a fringe, there is no trend. It could sit here in reverse, right? Kind of throw like what it did over here in reverse, and then tonight it'll rise towards that water. But if it does rise, it's going to consolidate in the middle, and then it's going to be done. So you'll see one quick rise on it tonight, and then that's it. If not, it'll just consolidate out for the rest of the week, and then next Sunday, Monday, it'll shoot up.
What do you think about that channel it created? Because it broke down to the low, and it did respect those 3 touches from both of the bottom sun indicators. So it broke out to the low, and it's just going to break out to the high. Because if you put touches on the wicks to the bottom of the sun indicators, it essentially shows that.
Yeah, no, it's in the zone. This is the only time you could consider buying low and selling high because it's fringing right now. Okay. The moment it gets into an area where there is no trend because of where the highs are and the lows are, if it rejects the zone, by the definition, it's supposed to go back up to the top here. And I think that's what it's getting ready to do. This is where technical analysis really comes into play, is when there's no trend. So this is where you draw your support and your resistance, your supply and demand, your trend lines, because this is where it really obeys it, is when there's no trend, when the EMAs are tight. So the fact that this is the low here and it's been rejecting these zones and it's respecting these support lines, that's why I have my analysis overall looking to be a buy again. But again, be patient on it because it is a Friday, and not every single time you'll see this thing buy. Like, I don't want you to just assume it's going to buy because it's hitting that low. This thing could easily just consolidate out for the week, and then Sunday, Monday, stop hunt or gap down low and then reshoot up. Like, there's so many different ways about doing it. So you just got to be careful. But according to what I'm looking at, I do see it rising a little bit. You just got to wait a little bit longer. That's about it. So, all right, people. I will put this up on YouTube, get it going, and we'll come back on Sunday for the analysis for next week, which is going to be really good. So everyone here, have a great weekend. I'll talk to you guys later, and crack out.